Many dismiss hope as childish nonsense. July 28, 2014. You are on the cusp, at the beginning of a new and wondrous way of relating to one another. As the tsunami of love continues to intensify and bring into the collective awareness the realization that love is the only way to resolve issues and conflicts, whether between individuals, families, political or religious belief systems, or nations. It has taken you many eons to approach this point, this tipping point in human consciousness, and you should congratulate yourselves on the amazing progress that you have collectively achieved in the last 3 or 4 decades. Out there, in the illusory world that you are helping to wake up, this does not seem to be the case, as conflicts and disagreements appear to be escalating, but what is in fact happening is that all the hidden motives, agendas, and deceits which have been ferociously denied for eons are now bursting into your conscious awareness and can no longer be denied or ignored. Wise souls, embodied as humans in positions of influence, are starting to use that influence consistently to calm the fears and reactive emotions of those who would escalate differences and intensify conflicts. There have been a number of serious attempts to escalate anger and fury around the world over the last 18 months or so, with the intent of starting new wars, but they have all failed because of the love that you are all sharing and extending, and as you intend that peace prevails upon the planet. You have all been swept up into the tsunami of love, and the influence that is having would utterly amaze you if you could see what is really going on but is not being generally reported. Continue to hold that sense of love and well-being in your hearts, and intend to share and extend it constantly. It is the most effective way to bring a desire for peace, tolerance, compassion, and understanding into the hearts of all those taking part in the numerous ongoing political solution-seeking negotiations worldwide. And of course you are not alone, as you hope and pray for solutions to all the demanding and threatening issues you see around the world. The spiritual hierarchy are with you in uncountable numbers to help guide you safely to port. Your ship, Mother Earth, is in safe hands. Yours, and those from the spiritual realms who have been lovingly watching over you and looking out for you over the eons as you have struggled to make sense of the insane games in which humanity has been engaged throughout its long and checkered history. The insanity is dissipating, disintegrating. In fact, it can only dissolve in the endless and overwhelming flow of love. Insanity is a reaction to a lack of love, and that lack has been remedied by all of you moving steadily and powerfully into alignment and harmony with love. The time for insanity is past, as the insane all over the planet are increasingly being accepted and loved instead of being discarded, punished, tortured, imprisoned, or hidden away in shame. This may not yet be apparent to you, but it is happening. And be aware that the insane who are contained by society and institutions for their own safety are hardly insane at all. They are just totally at odds with the insanity of the world in which they find themselves. The truly insane are those who would, by rules, regulations, and force of arms, control the peoples of the world, and divide them into opposing camps to fight one another indefinitely. As you have heard before, the tsunami of love embraces all in its path. Everything and everyone is in its path, unconditionally and with infinite acceptance. You are divine beings because God created you, and what He creates is, of its very nature, divine. What is divine is of infinite value, worth, esteem, a priceless pearl. No one is outside God's divine embrace, no one ever could be. It is only humanity, within the illusion, that chooses to separate, discount, disrespect, and discard, and those activities are as unreal as the illusion. But until a soul accepts that there is only love, he or she can refuse to acknowledge it and can close itself off from its source. The source, of course, remains. The soul just refuses to see, to be aware, but the illusion is crumbling, and when it is gone there will be no place left in which to pretend to hide. You are blessed and guided in every moment as you make your individual, and sometimes very different ways forward toward your inevitable awakening. To remain asleep is not an option. As humans, however tired you may be, you will always awaken from sleep because the body can only take so much of it. The amount varies due to your varying metabolisms, but remaining asleep is not an option even should you wish not to be awake and experience life as a human, as some who are very depressed might choose if they could. As divine beings of infinite power, and with awareness, knowledge, and understanding of all of creation, you would not and do not wish to remain enmeshed in the state of extremely limited consciousness that the illusion imposes upon you, like a very deep sleep. The thought to be different, to be separate from your source, was but momentary. It just appears to be a multitudinous number of eons long, because of the power of your collective imagination when you constructed that, at the time, intriguing state. There are none among you as humans who do not wish to depart from that unfortunate state and leave all its tiresome appurtenances behind them. But because you constructed it so astutely, you have convinced yourselves that it is reality, that there is no way out of it, and that there is nowhere to go that would be safer, more secure, or more welcoming. But again, deep within you, the inextinguishable flame of love burns constantly, calling you to awaken, and this has, over the eons, caused you massive confusion. How could you logically hope for release into something better when you believe that you know that there is no alternative, and yet that hope remains, pushing you to search for meaning and for God? Many dismiss hope as childish nonsense, and yet they are unable to uproot it and discard it. Eventually, when the situation truly becomes intolerable, everyone turns inwards, to God, or to whatever they choose to call or name the Supreme Being. And your source is always there waiting to respond to that call. That is what surrender is all about. It is about discounting your logical thinking mind or brain and allowing the knowledge of your true nature to embrace you. You have never been abandoned, and you will never be abandoned because you are one with God, inseparable from Him. Go within, to your inner sanctuary, invite Him in, unconditionally. There is no point in trying to limit His infinite love for you by demanding logical proof of His existence while you remain firmly secured to the illusion by your belief in it. You cannot serve two masters. Choose God or your ego. There is no alternative, and your ego is a mind construct that is unreal. So truly you have only one choice, and that is to open your heart to commune with God, just as it was made to do, while you let all the distractions, worries, and fears of the illusion fall away. To attempt to remain in the illusion and keep it real, is insane. It is a fear-driven idea, and fear, like insanity, is but an absence of love, but only because you have chosen to shut it out. Your loving brother, Jesus. Channeled by John Smallman. johnsmallman.wordpress.com